Hey everybody, welcome to Perfect Edition Comics. I'm your host Perfect. Today we're going to take a look at manga new releases for November 2020. Let's do this thing. Okay, so let's kick it off with one of the big dogs and take a look at what Viz has in November. First of all, looking at hardcovers, they've got the Fullmetal Alchemist Fullmetal Edition. So this is, I believe, 1.5 normal tankobon in a hardcover kanzenban format. This is reprinting Fullmetal Alchemist in a really premium format. So beautiful, bright white paper with a gloss finish, oversized art in a bunch of hardcovers. If you want to collect it, now's the time to get into it. Grab these, you won't be sorry. Next up, another hardcover, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure continues. So this is Diamond is Unbreakable, the 7th hardcover in the 4th part of JoJo. Again, there's a ton of these out there, all in all. But if you're looking for the premium formats to collect JoJo, this is what you want to be getting, these hardcovers. Talking about classics like JoJo, we have Takahashi, Rumiko, her Mermaid Saga. This is the collector's edition, and this is the first volume that comes out. So this is a kind of classical horror series. And it's a story that's about a theory of if you eat the flesh of a mermaid, then you can attain immortality and everything that brings. So if you're into something a little bit out there for Takahashi's style of things and a little bit of a taste of horror, then this is something that you'll want to take a look at. Next, we have another Takahashi classic. This is Urusei Yatsura, and this is volume 8 of that collection. Moving on to some of the more kind of modern classics or favorites that almost everyone is picking up and taking a look at. We have Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, and this is volume 18 that comes out this November. Continuing with the favorites, we have Dr. Stone volume 14 that comes out. And then another favorite is Promised Neverland. This is really moving on now, and we're all the way up to volume 17 coming in November. Probably one of the modern classic sports manga that's been going for a long time now is Haikyuu, and Furidate Haruichi is still knocking it out the park, or should I say spiking it over the net. Sorry, horrible joke, had to go there, apologies. This is volume 41, so if you haven't got into this, there's a lot to collect. If you've never tried sports manga, this is one which you can probably really easily just pick up the first one or 2 volumes and give it a go and see if you like it. But yeah, pretty much the feedback around this is universal, that it's a modern classic similar to Slam Dunk, but obviously with volleyball as the kind of main focal point here. So if you're looking at sports manga, this is one that you should really give a go. Then we have another big favorite that's really flying off the shelves, and that's Beastars. I haven't really spoken about this before, but let's just take a look at the synopsis so you understand what it's about. So at this high school, instead of jocks and nerds, the students are actually divided between predators and prey. So the whole premise of this manga plays around with the idea of kind of wildlife, predators, prey, and how that would work if it was in a real society or like kind of a human-based society, but obviously it's anthropomorphic with animals within this. So at the high school where the students are literally divided into predators and prey, it's personal relationships that maintain the fragile peace. So if you're looking for something a little bit different, this is something you should really take a look at. This is a spin-off, so this is My Hero Academia Vigilantes, and this is the 8th volume coming in November. Then we have World Trigger. No one really speaks about this, but it's got a super interesting premise, which I'll go through for you. So you thought your neighbors were bad, but at least they're not aliens trying to kill you. Earth is under constant threat from neighbors, invincible monsters from another dimension that destroy our way of life. But at least we have the elite warriors of Border, who co-opt alien technology to fight back. So yeah, if you're into kind of aliens taking over the world and people fighting back and all the crazy sci-fi goodness of what that sounds like, give World Trigger a try. It's already up to volume 21 that comes in November, so there's a lot to kind of read before you're up to date. But this might be something that you don't know about that actually kind of piques your interest like it has mine in recent months. Let's move on to the second big hitter, which is Kodansha. First of all, in terms of box sets, we've got Fairy Tail, which a lot of people have been introduced via Netflix. It's kind of really booming there. So this is the first box set, and it covers volumes 1 to 11, and then it also gives some kind of special bonus item like a poster or stickers or something like that. So if you want to get into this is probably one of the kind of more cost-effective ways, but for $120 is the retail price. Hopefully you'll get it less online, but if you went full retail, you're actually kind of overpaying for 11 volumes, to be honest. But if you catch it somewhere else online, like Right Stuff or Amazon or somewhere else, I'm sure you'll get it way below retail, which will make it the most cost-effective way to get into the series or do a bulk buy. Another box set is a classic from Clamp, which is Magic Knight Rayearth. This is the 25th anniversary box set, and this is the first volume. I'll go through the second volume, which actually also comes out in the same month, in November. And this covers the first stories, or the first 3 volumes, which covers the whole first series of Magic Knight Rayearth. It's all printed, oversized, it's on premium paper. It does newly revised translations and lettering, and also comes with foil stamped covers. It also comes with a kind of limited edition hardcover box, which also contains, I believe, a color art book as well. And this is all in an oversized format. As I said, there's also the second edition of this coming out, which covers the whole second and final arc of Clamp's work in Magic Knight Rayearth. And this also comes with a color art book as well. Moving on to another classic hardcover version this time. This is Cardcaptor Sakura, also from Clamp. This is kind of the definitive collector's edition. If you're looking to collect Cardcaptor Sakura, then this is the version that you're going to want to grab. Staying with Cardcaptor Sakura, we have Clear Card, which is the current series that goes on. So it's set 17 years after the original Another Magical Girl manga. So if that's your vibe, if you love Cardcaptor Sakura, then Clear Card is the current kind of ongoing follow-up to that series. Next we have another very famous name in the world of manga, and this is Ghost in the Shell. So this is Masamune, I got that horribly wrong, sorry, Masamune Shirao senpai, and he is joined by Fujisaku Junichi, and they are basically creating a preview chapter or a fill-in that's supposed to fill the gaps between Ghost in the Shell Human Error Processor and Man-Machine Interface. This is trying to, I believe, set up the new Ghost in the Shell SAC 2045 anime that's coming to Netflix soon. So if you kind of want to get a preview or a fill-in couple of chapters, then this is something that you should pick up in November. Then we have a spin-off series from Mashima Hiro, who's famous for writing Fairy Tail. So this is Heroes Volume 1. It's a new series, and it takes 3 of his main series, being Fairy Tail, Rave Master, and Eden Zero, and puts all the main characters together in some kind of funky mashup story. So if you're into those other series or a big fan of Mashima, then you should try out this new series when it comes out in November. Next, one of my favorite titles from many of the amazing RPG crazy titles that are going on right now. This is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. This is the 14th volume. I'll go through the premise a bit because it's kind of a funky version of one of these RPG spin-off fantasy titles. So as players of Monster Hunter and Dungeons & Dragons know, the slime is not exactly the king of the fantasy monsters. So when a 37-year-old Tokyo salaryman dies and wakes up in a world of elves and magic, he's a little disappointed to find he's become a blind, boneless slime monster. Yeah, for me, this just piqued my interest because of the kind of stupidity, zaniness of this one. And the art's pretty funky as well. And I've taken a look at the first volume and enjoyed it so far. So if you're looking for something in the kind of Isekai, RPG realm, but maybe something that's a little bit off the normal beaten path, like Sword Art Online and Shield Hero and all that stuff, then you should take a look at That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. It's not so slimy. Apologies. That was horrible. Anyway, onto something that's not so horrible, which is Heaven's Design Team Volume 2. This is a super interesting concept and something which manga does really well when it does kind of off-the-wall crazy ideas. So I'll go through this one as well. So God created the heavens and earth, but a little known fact is that he outsourced the creation of the animals to our office in Heaven's design team. So this hilarious and educational manga features weird real-life animals and puts even some humdrum critters in a strange new light. So basically, God rested and his design team took over and had to figure out how to create the animals. That's kind of the premise. If that sounds funky to you, take a look. Next, we have a classic, which is also loved as an anime, and that's Noragami. This is volume 22, which continues the story, which I think now there's something like 2 or 3 seasons of the anime out now. Next, another kind of really big seller right now is the Quintessential Quintuplets. This is volume 11. This is a spin on kind of a harem kind of concept of a bunch of quintuplets that this high school boy has to help out and study with, and that's the vibe. So if you're into it, take a look. Lots of people are raving about this. So then we have To Your Eternity volume 13 from Oima Yoshitoki, and she is the acclaimed mangaka that did A Silent Voice. So if you're looking for something else by her, then I can really suggest this. It's been going now for quite a while and is doing really, really well, and also almost as critically acclaimed as A Silent Voice. Next we have Seven Deadly Sins. This is the current ongoing tankobons, and it's up to volume 40 already. So if you're a fan, you can grab this in November. Let's take a look at what Seven Seas has for us. First of all, we have the Blue Giant Omnibus. I believe there will be a total of 5 omnibus for this, which means if you kind of want to get into it and get out of it and be done in one, you probably only have to wait a short amount of time to get all 5, and then you can read through it. This is about Miyamoto Dai, a student with a taste for basketball who changes his life the first time he sees and hears a live jazz performance. The music strikes a chord with him. The problem is he has no skills, no formal training, and no idea what he's up against. So if you're someone who's into music and manga, then this is probably something you want to take a look at. Then we have my pick of the month, which is a kind of bizarre pick of the month, but it really, for me, encapsulates what manga is all about, and the fact that it's not scared to go to really weird places. This is the What the Font Manga Guide to Western Typeface. I am a designer by trade, or have been for many years in my life. And so when I heard about this, which is a unique and engaging tool for learning about design using anthropomorphized Western fonts, basically you've got different manga characters like Helvetica, which I found super hilarious. Basically, every single character is a font. So if you're into a really weird, funky manga about design, then this is my pick of the month. Why not? Sounds like a boatload of fun, and you might learn something along the way. So check it out. Next we got Didn't I Say Average Everyday Misadventures Volume 1. So this is a new series. If you're into magical girls and everything else, then you might want to pick this up. It's from a hit light novel series as well, and anime. So if you've read that before or watched this, then this is the first volume of that. Then we have Hidden Dungeon Only I Can Enter, again another number 1 for a new series. This is a fantasy manga, as you can tell by the title, kind of another RPG dungeon-based one. So if that's your cup of tea, then you might want to give this a try. Then Cosmo Familia Volume 3. This is another magical girl series, and this is by the same artist who did Magi, depending on who you are, or Magi Modoka Magica, and that is Hanogake. Sorry, I'm horrible today at my Japanese names. Sumimasen, hontoni sumimasen. Okay, and next we have a gaming mix-up mashup, which is King of Fighters New Beginning. This is the 4th volume, so if you're into the King of Fighters video game, then this is a manga for that. I don't know what to say. Expect lots of fighting, I guess. Next, we got a full-color manga. This is a comedy manga, which is My Senpai is Annoying. And this is full-color, they say, workplace rom-com that started as a popular webcomic. So if you're into that, then give this a look. Next we have an old classic, but the kind of new iteration of it. So this is Saint Seiya, but this is Saint Seiya Seiya Sho, and this is the latest iteration of Saint Seiya. It's also got an anime adaptation available as well. So if you are a Saint Seiya fan, then pick this one up. This is already up to volume 11 coming out this November. Let's take a look at Oni Press. So we have another kind of anime adaptation or Netflix show that people are hopefully know, and that's Agretsuko. This is the hardcover treatment of this, volume 2. It's not a massive hardcover though, it only collects kind of 3 issues. I can't see a page count, so don't know how big that is, but for $12 as a suggested retail price, it's probably not the biggest and the most amazing hardcover you've seen, but if you're a fan, then I'd definitely take a look at this one. Next, we got a Guretama Surviving the Holidays hardcover. So it looks like another small hardcover. This one's only $10 suggested retail price. If you are a fan of this amazing little apathetic egg, then pick this one up just in time for the holidays. So you've got something fun to read. Let's see what Dark Horse has got. First up, really big hitter. I don't need to sell this to anyone. If you've already read Berserk in the Tankobans or you're up to date with it there, this is the deluxe editions that can sit on your shelf or your library. If you are not really a manga fan or don't know about Berserk, then this is the way to collect it. It's a 3-in-1 hardcover bound volume, oversized art, and it's flying off the shelves, probably the biggest seller in manga of the year so far. This is the 6th hardcover. Same style of hardcover, we have Hellsing. So Hellsing just kicked off a couple of months ago with the first hardcover, so this is the 2nd in that collection. Same build quality, same paper quality as Berserk that we just covered. So these kind of fit hand in hand with black and red for their kind of fake leather covers and will look amazing on your bookshelf. Highly recommended. Next, we've got another new series coming from Dark Horse Manga, and that is Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken Volume 1. I'll just read the premise so that you can kind of figure out if this is for you or not. Asakusa loves to design worlds, Mizusari loves to animate, Sayaka loves to make money, and at Shibahama High, they call them Eizouken, a 3-girl club determined to produce their own spectacular science fiction anime. But with no budget from their school and a leaky warehouse for a studio, Eizouken is going to have to work hard and use their imagination, the only thing they got plenty of. So this was nominated for a Manga Taisho Award as one of the 10 best new manga of the year. I've never heard of it, I know nothing about it, but I'm pretty intrigued, so I might give this a shot. Next we got Yen Press. The first is a hardcover called My Broken Mariko, and yeah, it sounds kind of serious, but something that sounds interesting at the same time. Shino is an ill-tempered office assistant, but when her friend Mariko dies unexpectedly, she becomes determined to get to the bottom of the mystery. Portraying the soulful connection between girls, this is a striking story of sisterhood and romance. Next, we got Kingdom Hearts 3. This is the first volume in this. I don't really know much about the other 2 that came out, so I'm not sure where this is exactly in the story. But it's got Sora from the games and all the characters from Disney. So if Kingdom Hearts is your jam, then this is probably for you. We got another volume 1 from a new series called Slasher Maidens, and this sounded really interesting to me. So around the world, a phenomenon is observed where those with mental stress reach a peak and transform into monsters called kaijin and succumb to murderous impulses. Such supernatural events were completely unrelated to proud pervert Asuma Sudo, but after he transfers to an all-girls school while chasing the goal of his dreams, he discovers that the school was actually a front for an anti-kaijin special agency. So yeah, if that definitely sounds interesting. I don't know if it's totally my jam, but it might be yours. So that's a new series starting if you want to give Volume 1 a try. Next up, something more familiar. We have Star Wars Rebels Volume 1. This is set during an era when the Galactic Empire is hunting down the last of the Jedi. A fledgling rebellion against the Empire begins to take form. Star Wars, manga, that's what that is. Next we have Meruko-chan Volume 1. This one is another new series. This is about Miko, who suddenly starts seeing grotesque beings that others can't see, and her response isn't to run or attack or face them, but to do everything she can to completely ignore them. Can she keep a straight face and continue her day-to-day life when surrounded by horrifying monsters? You should read this to find out. Sword Art Online. Can't really say much more about this than what's already been said for years and years now. If this is your thing, then this is the project. Wow, I'm going to murder this translation or pronunciation, but let me try. Project Alicization Volume 1. Sorry, that was horrible. If you like Sword Art Online, then buy this. Next we got Bungo Stray Dogs, and this is volume 16 of that series. Then something that many people like again is Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and this is volume 6 coming this November. And here's a mouthful, but one which many people enjoy and know all about. Is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon? On the side, and this is Sword Oratoria volume 13. So this is the kind of side stories based on Sword Oratoria, and this is the 13th volume. So if you love Is It Wrong, then yay, there's another one coming in November. Then another classic, which is Madoka Magica. Let me try and murder pronunciation again. Puella Magi Modica Magica. Different story. Omnibus edition. So this is this is before Modica. There was Mamitome. If things had been different, if events had been changed, what would her story be? If you're interested, then this omnibus covers just that. This is one which always piques my interest because I have a weird thing for cooking manga. Probably because I read far too much Iron Walk Yan when I was into manga many years ago, and it still kind of is a fascination for me. This is A Restaurant to Another World, and this is the 3rd volume. Let's take a look at what Vertical's got. So first of all, in terms of box sets, we have Complete Cheese Sweet Home. You might have watched this again on streaming services. So this collects, I believe, 4 volumes. Yeah, 4 volumes in a collector's box with a cute bonus item included. I thought the cute bonus item could be like the cat itself, but I guess it would be pretty flat, squishy, and not smelling so good if it was inside that box set. So it probably isn't the cat, but hey, at least you get 4 books, so that's always a good thing. Next up, a lot more serious than what we were just talking about with Cheese Sweet Home, is Blood on Tracks. I've seen a lot of different people reviewing this and reading this, haven't read it myself. This is from Oshimi Shuzo. This is the same mangaka that brought us The Flowers of Evil, Happiness, and Inside Mary. So very suspenseful, kind of horror, thriller vibe. So yeah, take a look at that if that's your jam. Next we have Arakawa Under the Bridge Volume 8, and this is from Nakamura Hikaru. So this is the same mangaka that's doing Saint Young Men, which is the manga about Jesus and Buddha living together in Tokyo. This is Volume 8 of that. Again, this is kind of a surreal vibe going on, so it's supposed to be around this sprite who's over 620 years old, a man with a star for his head, a nun, and a samurai who runs a barbershop under Tokyo's Arakawa Bridge. So yeah, if you're into something really funky for November, then this is the 8th volume of this, but you can go back and grab the first one and give it a go if you haven't already. And if you are reading this, then you'll be happy to know this is the latest one coming out. So that's all that we got for this month. I shouldn't say that's all because I think we covered almost 60 different things that you could buy. There's also a lot more out there. Of course, these are my top picks. It's not absolutely everything that's out there because it's just far too much to cover, and I'll be doing a video for hours on end, which I don't have the time for right now. But jokes aside, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Please drop a comment, hit the like button if you like this, and remember, if you haven't subscribed, I'd super appreciate you subscribing. And yeah, don't forget, stay perfect. See ya.